So good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to those here and those that are not here, those that are connecting online. So let's settle into our evening, this cooler autumn evening, taking this time to set the mind right with our meditation. So having established a comfortable sitting position, aligning our body with some degree of symmetry, balance, poise, helping to enable an inner mindful presence. Our eyes gently closed, helping to bring awareness within, and having our initial deep, relaxing, letting go breath, breathing out any stress tension that might have been building in our body over the happening of this day, the happening of the week so far. Breathing out, relaxing, releasing, letting go. Letting go of issues, worries, concerns, roles and responsibilities, thoughts about what has been, thoughts about what might be, and simply inviting ourselves into the present, this place, this point of existence, the present, and settling into the present moment with a calm, objective, receptive, attentive knowing. Being present to that which is present, the flow of sensory experience, pure and simple. Developing this calm knowing, this neutral knowing, present-minded knowing. And particularly using the naturally occurring sensation of our breath as our main reference point or focus for being in the present. But firstly, just settling and feeling into our body, this platform for experience, the body, bringing the mind into the body, helping to feel grounded, settled, centered, present. Checking in on a few contact sensations, feeling our feet connecting with the floor, feeling our body connecting with the chair, cushion, or meditation stool. Feeling the placement of our hands and fingers, just sensing, feeling, noticing. And bringing our awareness up to our shoulders, relaxing our shoulders, a place where stress tension often collects. Relaxing the shoulders without disturbing the uprightness of our back. Feeling into the chest area, relaxing the chest area so we can breathe freely. And feeling down into the abdomen belly area, relaxing that area so our diaphragm can extend fully as we breathe. And just feeling that soothing motion, that gentle rising up with the in-breath, relaxing down with the out-breath. Feeling that movement, the rising, relaxing, rising, relaxing, a gentle ebb and flow, the body moving with this perennial process, breathing. Noticing also our face, maybe feeling the air connecting with our face. And also perceiving the experience of light coming in through the closed eyelids, some degree of lightness, brightness, color, patterning, blankness, the experience of seeing. Simply seeing that lightness, brightness, or blankness. And in the background, a few sounds. Simply hearing, auditory experience, the experience of hearing. A few sounds from in this room. Some sounds from outside, beyond the room. Different tone, pitch, volume, layers, levels of sound. All sounds occurring on the background of silence. Maybe also even perceiving the sense of smell and taste, the fragrance of the incense, or the taste of any residue tastes in the mouth. Simply noticing this flow of sense experience happening in the present. And even noticing the sixth sense, the sense of thought, the mental sense, thoughts occurring as a mental image that we see, a mental sound or voice that we hear, and just noticing without the need to engage into the activity of thinking, developing this witness awareness, watchful knowing, mindful presence, present to that which is present, flow of experience, physical, mental, in the moment. Noticing without clinging, condemning, reacting, resisting, denying, distracting. Just noticing. Attentive, receptive noticing. Neutral noticing. And particularly noticing the breath, the inflow, outflow sensation of the breath, the ongoing experience of breathing as our primary reference point for awareness in the present. Feeling that inflow, outflow of the breath. A few background sounds. Subtle light coming in through the closed eyelids. Maybe the coming, going of a few thoughts. And simply being present. Allowing the mind to settle, becoming inwardly still, silent, spacious. Simply peace. Please help yourself to tea, coffee, biscuits. I've been reflecting on a word and also the experience of this word. And it's more about the experience, the feeling, the meaning of this word to us than the actual word in itself. It's a word that we do hear at times, a word that we maybe don't use much ourselves. It's used in different contexts. Certainly in a Buddhist context, it's used quite a lot. But outside of that, it's not used particularly much. The word is refuge. Refuge. We tend to hear the word more in terms of refugee, refugees, people seeking refuge, or a refuge for people that are going through difficulty, so they go to a refuge. However, in Buddhism, it's used quite a lot, particularly it's Pali. It's Pali Buddhist word, which is sarana. Sarana. Sarana is generally translated as refuge, and people, if they wish to become a Buddhist, they would take the three refuges, and that generally is done in the Pali language. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dhamma, Dhamma being the Buddha's truth teachings, the truth of things in themselves, the way of things, the law of things. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of those that have practiced well, fulfilled the Buddha's teachings, enlightenment. So taking the three refuges. And the consideration that I've been having is that, what is it that people generally take refuge in? Because even though we maybe don't think about it, we do and are taking refuge in things all the time. Refuge here meaning a type of seeking support, seeking safety, seeking stability, seeking security. And so we naturally do, without even thinking about it, take a sense of refuge in various things, in the world, in our life, certainly personally, and maybe also taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha as a possibility. But if you think about it, what do we take refuge in? I was thinking that when I was a child, I took refuge in my parents. I looked to them for stability, support, security, safety, to feel at ease. Though I can't do that anymore. Some people can. My father's died and my mother has cognitive decline. People take refuge like when we in school, looking up to teachers, the school system, the education system, that it will educate me and help me to learn and to develop the understandings that I need for functioning in the world. So when we're a child, we might do that. As adults, if we have children, we take refuge in the education system for our children. I guess throughout our life, we take refuge in the health system, that the health system will support us. Particularly, in this country, we generally have a fairly good health system for supporting us so that if we get sick, we can see a doctor, go to the hospital. That's important. So we have a trust in that yes, I trust that the health system will look after me. Also, we tend to take refuge in the country itself, that being an Australian, that Australia will support us, it has our best interest at heart, it will look after us. And within that, even like the political system, we take refuge in that it supports us, it will look after us, it would has our best interest at heart as well, generally, hopefully. The financial system, that it's going to sort of work for us, the banking system. And with these things, that these systems that we take refuge in, other things as well, it helps us to feel more at ease. Helps us to feel sort of, okay, I can relax, as opposed to in situations, in places where you can't take refuge in these, and there's a great sense of unease and distress and confusion and fear, anxiety, overwhelm. It's certainly not psychophysically healthy to have that happening. But certainly here we're quite lucky in these various refuges or supports that we have. Personally, we take refuge in our body. This body will look after me, support me, keep me going, stay alive. But as these bodies get older, they become less of a safety, a security, a stability, a support system. They become more unreliable. They get a bit creaky. They get uncomfortable. They're less likely to respond when we want them to or how we want them to. Even relationships, personal relationships. We see those as a support, a source of security, safety, stability, ease, a refuge. But again, they're also subject to degrees of uncertainty and instability as well. So I think as human beings, we need to have a degree of confidence and trust and faith in certain things to be able to relax and feel at ease and not be in a type of an amygdala stress response, fight, flight, freeze, unease, to be able to function, to be able to be healthy, to be able to live our life. Even to be creative, we need to feel at ease, to feel relaxed, to be able to actualize our potential. Problem is that these external things, external to us, and also even the physical things, so not just systems, but physical things as well, that can be affected, houses that can be affected by cyclones and floods and so forth, problematic, and then even down to our own physical bodies, they become seem to be less of a sure thing, less reliable. So what do we do with that? Do we just become anxious and upset, distressed, depressed, confused? Or do we maybe seek a more significant, a more secure refuge? And this is where the possibility of finding a refuge in either Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or particularly Dharma. Dharma, the word for, yes, not just the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha taught the Dharma, but the Dharma being the way of things, the truth of things, reality of things, the natural law of things. So to align to that, so that we're living our life aligned to what is true and right and real and natural flow of things. And I think that the more we see the way in which things are going, both in the world, the way of the world, worldliness, and not just our world here, but the greater world, the world as a whole. And I think that more than any other time in human history, we're more aware of what's going on in the world. It's not just our little location, our particular valley, but the valley mentality. We live in the Tweed Valley, or sort of, we don't really know much about what's going on elsewhere. And that was certainly the case for thousands of years. People didn't get around very much. So it was just the valley mentality, what's going on here. But now we know what's going on other sides of the planet almost instantaneously. And that can be distressing, that can be upsetting, that can be confusing, that can be overwhelming. How do we sleep at night then? And the way in which we become interdependent, interconnected, reliant on others, other people, other cultures, other countries, other systems around the world, to the point where something happens in a particular place of the world and it affects whether we can drive somewhere or not. Oil, petrol, decisions about doing certain things. That affects people's income. It even maybe affects what they can eat. Can't buy that because the trucks are don't have the oil to ship it up, drive it up from wherever. Like, wow. So no other time in human history are we so connected, but so reliant and so dependent, and that creates a sense of unease. So it becomes important to find a more stable, secure, sure refuge. And this is where I'm suggesting the Dharma, the truth of things, particularly the wisdom teachings of the truth of things that the Buddha gave, that becomes a sarana, a refuge for us. Because things in and of themselves are subject to being interrelated, dependent upon other things, cause and effect, and also then they're conditioned, they're compounded, they will change, like these bodies will. They will change. And so being able to connect into the truth of things, the way of things, wisdom teachings, reality teachings, that's what helps to bring calm and clarity and ease, and also wisdom, freedom for ourselves. We're able to see what's true, see what's real, not be caught up in the superficial side of things, the surface level of things, the worldly ways of things. So there's a motivation towards peace and freedom and clarity, truth, as opposed to being caught up in just the ways of the world, greed and anger and confusion, worldliness. The story where in the discourses of the Buddha, where the Buddha went to visit a monk who was unwell. He'd been unwell for some time and probably had some horrible fever. And the Buddha asked him, "How are you doing? Are you feeling any better? Are you getting better? Is the fever declining, decreasing, not increasing?" And the monk said, "No, it's actually getting worse, feeling sicker." And the monk actually said, "I'm really sorry I haven't been able to come to sit with you and spend time with you and listen to your teachings and guidance." And the Buddha said, "That's okay, that's understandable." And the Buddha said, "But in reality, if you see the truth of things, you see me. If you see me, you simply see the truth of things." So it's a real, so it's a special little teaching in that in itself, that those that see the Buddha, if you saw the physical Buddha, which we can't now because he died 2,500 years ago, but if you could see the Buddha, what you would be seeing was the embodiment of truth. The Buddha wasn't just the Indian man. It was what made the Buddha was his understanding and reality, the experience of reality, the truth. Otherwise, it's just a physical form. So it's what made the Buddha was his understanding, realization of the truth. And so if you saw him, then if you really see him, that's what you see. And then the saving grace of this is that anyone that sees the truth, they're actually seeing the Buddha. Because that's all the Buddha was, the embodiment, the expression of, the teachings of, the verbalization of, the expression of, manifestation of the truth. And so in that, we can take that to heart, so that we here in Australia, wherever we live, and even if we're not spending time with Buddhist monastics, we can still practice the Buddha's teachings, practice the Dhamma, realize the Dharma, and see and experience the Buddha ourselves. We don't have to feel, "Oh, well, I wasn't born 2,500 years ago, I missed out." It's like, no. We can realize the Dhamma here and now, realize what the Buddha realized. Freedom. the mind freed from being caught up in greed, clinging, craving, anger, frustration, confusion, delusion, unknowing. We can realize truth and live accordingly as well. So in this way, the Dharma becomes a refuge. The more and more we are aligned to living and engaging from that truth, the truth of things, aware of things, expressing the truth of things, which becomes wisdom, seeing things clearly, that becomes more of a sense of ease for us. We're able to see, well, yes, things change, things are conditioned, things are compounded, things are interdependent, and be careful about attaching to things, because all things are time bound. Whatever we're attached to, it's going to change. And if we can't detach or let go, then we're going to suffer. And awareness that that sense of suffering or unease is caught into everything that we become attached to or grasp after will become a source of stress and suffering for us. Also appreciating that that whole sense of ourself is also in flow, in flux as well. There's no permanent, stable me-ness in things. The I-ness, the me-ness, the sense of self is also a fluxing, changing phenomena. At times not even apparent. There's just awareness without a sense of I am aware. There's just awareness in flow, in the present, absence of self. So aligning to this understanding helps to unfold more ease and more clarity, more meaning and joy in life. So we're less upset, less distressed when things do change. Whether it's things external to ourselves or even within ourselves, mentally, emotionally, physically, a sense of like, this is just the way things are, and it can be okay. Not caught up in the clinging or the condemning, the reacting or the resisting, denying or distracting, but more aware and flowing with the way of things. So particularly where we're more aware of these things that cause unease, and I've just, in the work that I do as a psychologist, noticed that people are more uneased. There's a sense of like, what's going on? The upset, distress, the way the world is at the moment, and uncertainties with resources that we need for functioning. Even just issues that come up in politics as well, budgets that come out that can be concerning for people. So it's like, where do we find a sense of ease and peace? Well, maybe in truth, in wisdom, in the reality and truth of things, aligning to that, finding that sarana, that refuge. So any particular comments or thoughts or questions yourself about refuge, and particularly Dharma, truth teachings as a refuge?
I just had a thought before. I don't know if it's exactly if you're trying to lead in a particular way, but I was thinking to by having this sort of sense of refuge and peace and so on, it, you can't control it, but it will tend to have a beneficial effect on change to like a positive influence as well, which is, I don't know, for me maybe gives me a bit more confidence or something to kind of, this is the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the more people that do align to the truth of things, seeing the real as the real, as opposed to being caught up in the unreal, then it has a flow-on effect. It creates more sense of clarity and understanding and peace and better communications and better understandings and less sort of being caught up in superficial things that maybe don't mean much in the end. It's as if we do need these various um, refuges that we become sort of connected with or reliant on, again, like the health system or the education system or the political system or the financial system, so forth. So we need them, but it's about seeing the truth of them, that they may not be a totally sure, secure refuge, because they do change. Things change. So using them, but not being deluded by them. Even like taking refuge in the legal system. People do that and they get really, really disappointed.
So, might be off the track a bit, but so how do people like in countries that have conflict for a long time, wars and terror and everything, how do they survive? You know, like find some peace.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's just been really.
Yes, very difficult, because there maybe isn't a external peace, that they need to find peace within. A lot of people will turn to either they sort of get totally caught up in their side, and we are right and we're on the winning team and we're right and they're wrong, and they take that as their refuge. But that becomes problematic in itself, trying to defend that, and especially if they lose, or they are sort of totally wrong because they've engaged in a political regime that's corrupt. Sometimes people will be more involved in religion, so that religion becomes what they're taking their refuge in, which certainly can be fulfilling and give them a sense of something beyond just what's going on externally. But even that can be problematic if they have to believe in something that maybe they don't fully believe in, or if they do fully believe in it, but suddenly they realize that it's not a reality. But making their own goodness a refuge, kindness and generosity and honesty, integrity, which those things are in a way Dharma, qualities and aspects of Dharma. So making those a refuge. So even though things are terrible out there externally, even though there's stuff going on that's terrible, but taking refuge in goodness, in wholesomeness, and the possibility of finding freedom, enlightenment. Sometimes even that's what the more difficult things are. It motivates people to look deeper and to go deeper and to find the heart of what's really important and significant. Again, like it's these times that we're living in, which we could see as being troubled compared to other periods in certainly our own lifetime. To go, okay, well, this is a troubled time, and with various economical and social, political, ecological, environmental issues. But that can be a real motivation to be more focused on on peace of mind, clarity of mind, seeing things clearly, realizing truth, enlightenment. Sort of a shake up, wake up to let's not just get caught up living a very superficial life. We need to realize reality and get beyond the drama. In fact, the Buddha's last words, his last teaching, a statement, all things are impermanent. Realize enlightenment with earnestness. That's your homework. So give that some thought in terms of for yourself. What do I take refuge in? What am I relying on? What is my safety, support? Sort of where is my security? What am I aligned to? And just check out how sure, safe, secure, stable that is. And if it is somewhat insecure, unsafe, unstable, then find what's going to be more of a refuge for you. Thanks for coming out tonight on this cool evening. I think that often the cooler weather deters people from coming out, especially if there's a bit of rain as well. But there's extra merit in coming out when it's more difficult. It's more good karma to get out there, so it's like a extra merit. So thanks for coming and see you next time.
Thank you.